Welcome back to Finnegan's Garage. A lot has happened lately. Let's recap. My friend Joe Cole moved from California to Georgia to come work here. He's behind that camera right now. We shot a Roadkill episode here in this garage with Dulcich and Freiberger, which was amazing. And you guys saw before they showed up, we did some work to this charger to try to get it further along so that maybe we'd be successful during the Roadkill shoot. And while I won't give away what happened, we were successful and it went really well and I'm very happy about it. And now we are about to road trip this car from Georgia all the way to Michigan for Roadkill nights. But before we do that, we got to fix some things because in typical Roadkill fashion, we did a really good job until it was time to make the car run at the end. And then, well, we had to cut some corners. And so some of that cutting involved cutting the floor of this car. And where there aren't holes from rust, there are giant holes from us making seats and a transmission fit. So in this video, we're going to fix the holes in the floor. We're going to find a better way to attach the fiberglass nose to the front end of this thing. And then, yeah, go to Michigan. All right, first things first, I have a reminder for you guys. We have FSM gear in stock, brand new stuff in colors that are perfect for summer. So like the FSM logo shirt, it's back in blue steel and green, white. I mean, other than black, we have those colors going on right now. We also have some other shirts that I really like that if you go to fsmgarage.com, you can find about. Let's walk around the car. I want to show you what's happening here. So to recap, bought this car last summer at Roadkill Nights in Michigan. The goal is to drive it back to Roadkill Nights this summer with Freiberger and Dulcich and some other friends. And so last week when the Roadkill crew was here, we filmed an episode where we threw the motor from Death Metal Charger in the car. Not the 2J, but the 3D3 we took out of Death Metal. That is now in this dumpster fire Daytona. We also took our drag week winning G-Force GF5R transmission that was in Blasphemy is now in this Charger. So if you look there, clutchless 5-speed. Which, because of the shift rods, we had to cut a lot of the transmission tunnel out for. We also installed Pro Car seats that, because the floor of our car is not stock, this thing was pro-streeted, I don't know, probably 30 years ago. And this all got raised up. This is aftermarket frame rails, and then this raised section here ended up interfering with the Pro Car seats, which here's one of them right here. And so that had to get cut out. We now need to go back and patch the holes there because we're inhaling a lot of exhaust fumes right now. Come back here. Mostly we're inhaling exhaust fumes because there's no exhaust. You know, we basically got the car running, drove it around with just manifolds on it, firing right at the holes in the floor. Some of the other things we did, we put a fuel cell in there. This fuel cell we actually turned sideways to get to go in there. And then welded in a new fitting in the bottom. We had to relocate the leaf springs. You'll see all this stuff on the Roadkill episode. The car still sucks. It just runs. Like the wing's ready to fall off still. We did get the rubber duck wheels and rear end to go in, which is awesome. But more than anything right now this week, we just need to fix some of the things that are wrong with the car so that we're not going to die when we drive it. And inhaling exhaust fumes for 15 hours during a road trip, that could be bad. So first things first, let's fix these holes so we can get our seats fitted up again, and then we'll deal with that hole.
And the floor pans?
Probably not.
You're okay with that?
Probably not. I'm thinking some rubber floor mats from the local parts store will cover that right up.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to make it too nice. I mean, to be clear, it is a clone, and I'll never restore it, so we don't want to make it too nice. Like, you know, this is a very special car. It's a very special car.
It's got a windshield now.
Yeah, yep. Mark the glass guy came by, put a windshield in. Oh, we got to make...
It has holes all the way through to the inside.
Yeah, it does. We got to make window tabs for the back window because there's no trim, so we'll go NASCAR style and put 2 straps there. 200-mile-an-hour straps. Step 1, protect the glass. And in this car, that is kind of difficult to do because, well, somebody put a not race legal roll bar in here, never finished welding it, and did it in such a way that you can't roll down the rear quarter windows. You can't even put a handle on there anymore. So these, they're just up. They're stuck up. So we're going to take dragon blankets that we got from wirecare.com, drape them over the windows like this, and then we're going to clamp them in various places in here. And that'll keep all the sparks from the grinding and the cutting and the welding from hitting the glass and pitting it. I got some cheap plastic clamps from Home Depot. Which you can buy these anywhere, but these,
not Harbor Freight?
These ones happen to come from Home Depot this time. And all we're going to do is clamp it so that when we're cutting and welding, all the sparks don't go backwards and hit the rear window we just had installed. Yeah, now we're not going to ruin the glass in the car. It's going to be a little harder work because it's darker in here now, but at least we're not going to be replacing pitted glass. All right, so this is where the back corner of the seat goes. These are not stock sections of floor, but the tunnel is raised, and you can see why. There's the drive shaft, which is much higher up in the car than it would have been from the factory. And it's higher up because the rear end is higher up in this car, because this car has giant rear tires and the car has been lowered. So this is a 445/15. It is a little over 32 inches in diameter and 18 inches wide. Big old street meats. They make good smoke. And you'll see that good smoke on a upcoming episode of Roadkill. First things first, we're going to remove the paint from here. Then we're going to go to the sheet metal brake and bend a box that will come in here. And then we're just going to MIG weld it in place all the way around. All right, let's go cut some sheet metal. Bo, you are the most chill shop dog ever. All right, kind of scrap metal have we got in here? Let's not cut up the giant sheets because these are not giant pieces.
Bingo.
Might not be wide enough. Maybe.
Let's check it. Might be another piece back here.
It's long enough, but I don't know if it's wide enough. Because remember, it's 3 inches wide, but then you have to sheet metal break it 2 3/4 tall.
This one's a lot thicker though.
Yeah, that's too thick for us to bend in our brake. Aluminum is not going to work.
There's this. This is.
Oh, is that titanium?
No, it doesn't feel tight. It's pretty heavy.
Oh, here we go. This is perfect. This looks like 40 thousandths thick, somewhere in there. This will do the job.
Looks like it was used as a shield at one point.
Handy dandy
Gauge.
Yeah. 40?
That is 20 gauge. 20 gauge.
What's that in decimals?
Good question.
What else here?
That's 35 thousandths.
Oh, I was close. Okay.
Probably 40 because it's a little bit loose.
All right. That'll work.
Poor donkey gets hung up here and left for dead by his nose. Look at, he's even screaming. It hurts, it hurts.
He's lived a great life. Like, this place is air conditioned.
This is true.
Nobody hits him. He's not rusting anymore. I mean, you're a donkey, dude. You're down with this place.
So you're telling me he's not aging anymore?
No, not at all.
So this is the fountain of youth for donkey.
He might be reverse aging. He could be a teenager by now, for all I know. Look at that. Like, there's no holes or anything. The smell is good. It's already broken in or seasoned, as we like to say in the industry. Yeah, I think we use this to block heat on something.
Obviously.
Some sparks or heat or... All right, so 5 7/8 long. There we go. And then 3 inches wide. This is relatively thin metal, and so you only have to add a little bit to your measurements for the bend. Yeah. So,
What's a rule of thumb when you start adding to bending stuff?
I don't know. I don't usually use my thumbs to measure stuff, so.
All right.
I usually like this kind of material right here. This is about 40 thousandths thick. I'll add like a heavy 16th, maybe an eighth of an inch to the end of it. And by no means am I an expert at sheet metal bending. I just know that that gets me close enough on a 90-degree bend that it'll fit in the location that I'm trying to fit it into.
It better be long than short.
Always. All right, so that's 5 7/8 long. So there's our bottom. 3 inches wide. Now it's going to be 2 1/4 tall. So we need to add 2 1/4 to this side, 2 1/4 here. This will bend up 90. This will bend up 90. This will get cut on an angle to match the floor. So I'm going to use the thick Sharpie. There's my additional amount that I want. And
go to the other side of the line.
yeah, so I'll just bend it just past the line a little bit. Okay. I think we'll cut this in the stomp shear.
Okay.
Make it nice and straight. Okay, my glasses so I can actually see. And a flashlight. These are great, by the way. Schumacher.
I love that light.
These are, I mean, this one's dead, but like when it was charged, this was great. They're magnetic on the bottom, so they'll pick up all the metal shavings in your car. That one's about to die. They'll pick up all the metal shavings in your car that you'll leave. There we go. And they're bendable. Engage. Okay, why is this cutting? Am I sitting on?
Jack.
Oh, I'm sitting on the jack. No?
No?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, in the back.
Yeah, I am.
There you go.
It's like, this thing is way stronger than this metal. There we go. A couple different ways to cut this. You could cut this with tin snips at home, but that'll deform it just a little bit. We could cut it in the Beverly shear, which is always fun. Or we can use the vertical bandsaw.
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 Keeps it flat.
Bandsaw is really fun too. All right, now we bend. The nice thing about a finger brake, and again, I'm not an expert at this, is that you can move the fingers around so that right now, when I bend this, this part will go in here and not hit, and I can bend the other side 90 degrees. Looks about right. Very good, very good. So this should drop into the floor, and then we trim this on an angle to match the floor. Weld it all in place. It should be good to go. Let's go see how far off we are. I know we're going to be off because I made this bigger than what the cut is in the floor. And I did that on purpose because the cut in the floor was crooked. And we'll be able to now widen the cut in the floor in a straight line to match this. There we go. See how it overlaps? Just a little bit right there. This cut is crooked this way, so what I want to do is notch it over further and cut it straight until the box drops in. And then I want to move this cut back until the box drops in because this is all rusty. So I'd rather move this back than cut forward.
Are you saying rust doesn't weld well?
I mean, it's doable, it's just not great. Yeah, see how this is straight and then it wedges into a corner and it's kind of going this way. So all we're gonna do is set it up here, trace it, widen it. That's ready to go. Let's see if it works on the other side. Yeah, so this cut is huge compared to that one. Not even close. So I'm glad I didn't make two of these. All right. So that's for that side. I'll make one for this side. This got cut out way up here and it didn't need to. So we can probably figure out what piece came out of here, weld it back in here to here. And then same thing right here. This got cut out and it didn't need to.
I think I have that piece. I think it's this one right here. it looks like it had where the factory shifter would have gone. I think this comes all the way over. So we can cut half of it off anyways. No, I think it went the other way. See how it looks like this would have been a shifter spot.
That's interesting. This might.
You want to take the tranny out to see if it fits?
No.
Oh, that one went there, huh?
Yeah, that went there.
So we can try and skin that metal off, I guess.
Nah, that'd be too much work. We'll just bend our own piece.
Okay.
I thought it was just a flat piece of metal, but it's not. Okay.
Yeah, and that one must have went right up. There you go.
Yeah, this, we can get this chunk out of, I think. And this needs to get sliced over just a little bit more to get away from that nut.
Yeah.
But we need to sheet metal that shut, put this piece back to here, and then we can make a piece that's taller that goes over here. My goal is to make this permanently fixed and then this removable so we can access the levers to adjust them, because these need frequent attention.
So, yeah, I believe that one went there, yeah.
Yeah, this can go back in. We're just going to trim it, and then that can go there, and then we can bend a piece to here. And then
What do we do back here?
Slice it here. Same deal. This needs to be removable because this is how far the trans has to go back to get
right.
So we'll make a deal that comes over here. Wait, there was a piece from AMD.
Did this go forward or backwards or?
I don't know. This would mimic the factory bump for a 4-speed. We might be able to incorporate it into our deal, which would look kind of cool.
We'd have to open it up, I think.
Well, this is the only part that moves, so it'd be pretty close. But yeah, we could slice it here, turn it into a box that comes over the levers, or we just make a new piece out of aluminum or something that's removable. Because you'd have to add on here, you'd have to add on there.
Yeah, and it's not really the right shape.
Like, this is cool if you're restoring a car or sticking, a 4-speed into a 69 Charger. Because we did the G-Force trans, all bets are off. This thing is not where it would normally be, and it's longer than a 4-speed, so. Shout out to AMD for still making stuff like this for Chargers. We just can't use this in ours. We have patched the floor where the seat goes, right? And we patched the very front of the driver's side tunnel where the linkage for the trans is. And now we're at a crossroads, right? And this is the massive issue with this car that we have to deal with. I have brand new floor pans from AMD. I don't necessarily have time to install them, but the bigger problem is AMD is out of the torsion bar boxes, which gets spot welded to the floor pan and to the rocker panel of the car, both of which in my car are completely rotted out. And so I could cut a portion of the floor pan out to fix the footwell area that's you can see through, but that doesn't solve the problem of the fact that the torsion bar boxes are ready to fall out of this car. And I don't really see a good reason to put in brand new floor pans and try to tack weld them to rusty remnants of torsion bar boxes. And it sucks because we can't really safely drive this car fast or down a drag strip, But more than that, we can't really use the parts we have. So my new current plan is to just butcher together some sort of transmission tunnel cover to get us through this roadkill shoot and road trip. And then when AMD gets the torsion bar boxes in stock, then we can do a proper repair job on the floor of this car. Probably never, because once the road trip's over, then it's on to the next car we need to work on. No, I'm kidding. It'll happen. I don't know when. It won't be anytime soon. These are brand new Auto Metal Direct floor pans, which are great. And This is the firewall area. This is the footwell area. This is rotted out on both sides of the car. This right here, if you were looking from the bottom, is where the torsion bar goes through a cross member right there. Completely gone on the bottom side of the car. Like, just not much left of it. And so, yeah, I could just cut this part out, weld it in, except everything around it is rusty, you know? So I'm gonna save these. We'll use them later. And, you know, like I said, just flex seal, duct tape, and floor mats to finish this deal after we get the trans tunnel safe. So as you can see, well ventilated, very, very rusty. In fact, there's the torsion bar. This is what holds up the entire front end of the car. The way a torsion bar works is it's a splined piece of bar stock, and it indexes into the control arm up there, and then it indexes into a cross member back here. And underneath the control arm is a lever with a bolt. The bolt provides adjustment to the lever, which preloads the bar and twists it. And when it twists it, that's what pushes the control arm down and keeps the car up. Well, this cross member is ready to fall out of this car. So that cross member ought to be fixed, but we don't have a new one. Can't get one. The floorboard ought to be fixed, but it gets welded to the cross member. So yeah, neither of these are happening. All that's going to happen now is we're going to try to cover up the gaping hole we put in the floor of the car to fit our G-Force GF5R trans. And we've got a little spacer in here holding up what's left of the trans tunnel. Now we need to make a piece of sheet metal cover right there. We have this kind of rough formed right there, and that is where it needs to go. Now, I can't do that because it actually touches the transmission. I need to stand it up some. And full disclosure, I'm not a sheet metal guy and don't have the talents of a professional sheet metal guy. In fact, I'm not a professional anything. But I do know what a profile gauge is, and I do know that you can get one of these at a lot of places. Hell, you can get it at Home Depot. And I do know that I want this to sit like this, and then I need to make a bulkhead essentially right here out of sheet metal. And I know that if I take this profile gauge and go just like this, that I can trace my floor, and then I can transfer this to a piece of sheet metal, and that when I cut this sheet metal in this shape, it will fit perfectly right here under this, and I can weld the two things together and make the piece I need to make. Now, is there a better way to do that? Probably, but again, I'm not a professional and really don't know much about sheet metal. So this is how I'm gonna do it. And this is about a $20 tool, which means you guys can do this at home. All you need is some sheet metal, this, tin snips, left, right, and straight. And you could literally make this piece at home. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm tempted to walk over to the bandsaw and just cut this because that will make my life a lot easier. But I realize maybe you guys at home don't have a bandsaw or a pair of Beverly shears or, you know, whatever. And maybe this is how you're going to be doing this job. So this is how I will do this job. All right, so that I had to guess on this part, and I guessed up here, and I didn't quite get it where it needed to be. But essentially what you could do now is, now that you have that, you could then trace this on this, cut it, weld it together, and it would be pretty damn correct. But this one here needs to go down further. These two pieces will get welded together, then this will get bent down and curve that way to match the floor. Give us just enough room right here to clear that and that bolt right there.
That straight enough?
Nice. Dude, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
I better get a better line here.
Well, you've seen how I draw, you know. I think you should draw it. I know what I want in my brain, but translating that to an ink dispensing device, sometimes difficult for me.
But somebody showed me something.
Oh, the Flexi Ruler. Yeah, the Flexi Ruler's awesome. You guys, you can get this at Home Depot. Just saying, Flexi Ruler. Yeah.
Can you put your finger on that?
Oh, yeah. Nailed it. Silver Sharpie. Yes, yes. Yeah, Flexi Ruler. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Want to do circles?
So
too?
money, you don't even know it. Do it over and cut on this side of that line.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So once this is cut, we'll be able to put a button head here and a button head here into a nutsert into the floor. That'll hold it. And then we can add to this going forward and add a box going backwards. Let's test fit.
Test fit?
Test fit. All right. I like it.
That's where she'll sit.
Now, if it were me, I would quickly bolt it to the floor so that it's always in the same spot while we're adding to it. We need to add it down from there.
Yeah, I'm thinking there and up and around.
Okay, we can do
Or
that.
just do it all the way. But yeah, because that way this side, otherwise this side falls down below these bolts. And you're going to be trying to shove that whole shifter boot over this whole
Okay.
chingus.
All right.
So if we do it up here, it's a little bit better.
How much do we have to raise it?
From the tunnel or this part?
Well, whatever we've got to make on that side to stand it up. It looks like it's a little higher than it needs to be. Not quite level. Yeah, right about there.
Right there. So off the tunnel, about an inch.
Okay, hold that right there. You got this. I'm gonna Sharpie. And then mark the floor. Look, you guys, click Sharpies. No more losing the cap. Just saying. And Sharpies aren't even the greatest things for working on cars. Those Milwaukee Sharpies, or whatever you want to call them, are way better for marking through grease. But these have a clip cap. So what I'm saying is, let's put one nutsert and button head right here to hold this thing. We'll add an inch to that over there. And that thing can be locked in place.
This one, and then we can build it.
And then we can build from there. We're gonna build a box, pretty simple back here to cover this area, because when you remove this trans, it has to come back like 4.5 inches for the input shaft to get out of the clutch before you can lower it down, which is why it got cut so far back. So we need this box to just be a very simple thing where the trans can slide back into. And then once that's done, then it's just a simple L piece of metal up here that we're gonna nutsert to the, you know, what's left of the floor and to our hacked up transmission tunnel. That way the cover is removable so we can get to the rods of our G-force transmission to adjust the linkage, because that's something that has to be frequently adjusted when you drive a street car.
How many times do you think you'll have to adjust it before you get to Roadkill nights?
At least once, probably twice. And it'll tell you when it needs it. Like, you'll just be driving down the road and
The shift's great right now.
you can money shift it, and when it's misadjusted, it will bang when you try to put it in first gear. The whole car will shake when it's unhappy.
I know. It's right now. It's dialed.
Right?
When I drove it back
Clutchless,
from the other
huh?
day, it was like beautiful.
Yeah, clutchless shifting
It
is
was
so
so
fun.
smooth. Bank shifting was a whole lot of fun though.
Yes.
That was a
I trust the drive
whole
line.
another level.
I trust the drive line. I just figure bank shifting eventually is going to result in the car falling apart. But not today, Satan.
I think the first thing that's coming out are the torsion boxes.
Okay, next step, we have our AMD 4-speed console cut into 2 pieces, and we're only going to keep 1 piece. Now I need to add the rear box, and then we need to add the side panel, all of which gets welded to that AMD part so that we can make it removable. And just have some 20 gauge sheet metal here, which is filthy, so I'm going to clean it real quick, because when you clean it, it makes your markers last longer. And right now I'm getting to the point where I want to use a fine tip marker, because this part needs to be fairly precise, and fine tip markers don't like to mark through grease. The truth is, the fat tip ones like that, they don't want to mark through grease either, but they do a better job than the fine tip. And the only ones that do okay at marking through grease are these ones from Milwaukee. These work good at grease. But again, eventually you're kind of limited on how many times you can make good, precise marks in grease. So wipe it with acetone, or whatever your favorite chemical cleaner is, and then your Sharpie will last longer. It'll thank you. I've already made a template for the rear of the box, and I've got some marks here. It's a rough template. I've made marks here where I need to add a 1/4 inch of material here, an 1/8 inch there, an 1/8 inch there, 1/4 inch there, 1/2 inch there. So when I take this and transfer it to metal, then I can add the material during this process, and I'll end up with a part that should be the final part if I don't screw it up, but it'll have the missing material that the template didn't have. Buy some magnets, because you can use those magnets to hold your construction paper template to the metal that you want to trace. And then you don't have to spend your whole time trying to hold it. See? Now it's not going anywhere. Alright, so that's gonna go there. Boom. And now that's the shape I have to cut out. It'll get bent 90 degrees, and this will be the rear part of our box. And then I have another piece that'll be the top of the box that we have to make as well. So this is going to be a 2-piece deal. The sides and the rear of the box I just traced out of cardboard. Those are going to go like that. As you can see, the template is a little short, so we'll need to add to it. And then it'll have a top piece that I just dropped through, but the top piece will go on top. It won't be on the floor. But yeah, the top piece will sit on here, get welded to this, and welded to this. So then this becomes a part of this, and this whole thing bolts onto the car. That's close enough for now. All right. And then here's the metal version of what we just made, which you can see I added material in certain places to make it fit a little bit better. I'm gonna notch this, I'm gonna notch this here, test fit it once more, and then we'll bend it. Just a little bit.
Too much bend?
Just a little bit. Yeah, we'll do this corner.
Go ahead.
We're getting close. I know it doesn't look like right now because there's really nothing in there and we have a giant hole once again. But we have welded in a rail system here, and it has these really cool things called thread certs punched into it. And those are threaded bungs that you can install in sheet metal that then allow you to thread a panel together with a screw or a bolt without having to have access to a nut behind it. It's really cool. Joe's going to demonstrate it. There's the tool.
There's a tool. One thing you want to know is make sure you've got this threaded down as far as you can. Thread this on all the way till it butts up. If you don't get this threaded in there all the way, it will pull from the nutsert, and then you're going to be really in trouble because it doesn't get squished all the way and the threads are stripped.
Well, and it just spins behind the panel, and then you're like, oh, now my bolt's halfway in and this thing's spinning.
Right.
Do you have more than one of these?
I do.
Can we demo this? Show it squishing real quick. Imagine you drilled a hole through a panel. You've then shoved this through the hole in the panel, and when you squeeze the tool, watch what happens to this deal. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
That's that.
So essentially what it does is it flares it on the back side of the panel, locking this in place, so then you can then stick a bolt through the top. All right. I know we just wasted one, but I've never actually showed people what it looks like when that happens.
Oh.
Look at that. Next level, 2023, we're showing you it all. So this one says Busby on it because long time ago, my friend Brian Busby moved out of his shop and was like, here, take these. He was the one that showed me these, and they're awesome. And I just keep buying refills from McMaster Car. So it comes in sizes ranging from 1/4 inch, 1032, 1024, 832. These are the inserts that go in the panel. These are the different arbors that go with the different inserts.
I say you can go up to like a 7/16 1/2 inch nutserts.
Big dogs.
Yeah, but then you get into buying a hydraulic one.
Oh, yeah.
Which the hydraulic ones are really nice.
Spendy.
Super easy to use. Actually, they're not that much. You can get them on Amazon, I think, for about $80. I
don't know what Busby paid for this, but I appreciate him buying it and then leaving it with me. What else do I have from Busby in here? Oh, yeah.
There was something else I saw. Oh.
That cabinet. That came out of Orange County Auto Shop. The chemical cabinet. That was Busby's. Oh, dude, this Valvoline trash can right here. Busby's. Oh, dude, hold on.
Are we doing a Busby shop tour?
Yeah, the rag bin, Busby's.
There's a couple of...
that's why whenever I see him...
There's a couple of those trays
beers
over there that are Busby's.
Yeah, that's why whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, let me get you a beer. I owe you. So you drill a hole that is much larger than the bolt that's going to go through it. In this case, we're doing a 1032 bolt. So I think we drilled like a 1/4 inch hole.
Yes.
Go for it.
You want to try and keep as straight as possible, otherwise it goes in crooked. Oh, that's not good.
Did you just break it?
Nope. I think it just popped on me though.
Well, when you do it right, this is what it looks like.
Oh, that's right. It's coming out.
All right, now that those are in, then our cover can go back on and we can make the last few tabs.
This one was just a really thick piece here.
Yeah, that's some double metal right there.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be twice as strong.
Let's do it. Let's do a check. If not, you can go through and run a tap through it. I mean, if they're in right, you can run a tap through it just to clean the threads.
I've never had to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why it popped like that. It was threaded all the way through too.
I'm sure it's
fine. Maybe it pulled up. Oh, that's what it did. It pulled the other piece of metal below.
Yeah, it's extra strong, that one.
Yeah, we are good.
Clean up the trash I made here. Next thing will be get that console in and then put the nose on the car, which is going to be fun. Look at that. How many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6
pieces.
6 pieces, 5 tabs. But it's going to go in and
work.
It's going to work.
Yeah.
Definitely
not
going to...
A little bit of body filler, some sanding, and it's just a beautiful piece.
Yeah, none of that's happening.
Rust color red on it. It's done.
None of that is happening. It's just going to go in.
Look at that. Money.
Bingo. Little tape on the floor for the gaps. Because you know we're not going all the way to the store to go get any edge trim molding or anything that would seal it properly. It's just not going to happen. Not bad for a few hours worth of work.
What's that? Not bad for a few hours? Yeah. No.
I'm sure there are others out there that could do better. But they're not here with us now.
No.
They're not having this kind of fun. They're not using this kind of quality as he threads in the 1032 with the 1/4 inch nut spacer.
Perfect. And she goes. I would say one last time, but we know that's a lie.
Yeah. It's not the prettiest, but it's gonna work.
Right.
It's roadkill good enough. Yeah, you could spend the next 10 hours welding and grinding and metal finishing it and making it look all beautiful, but that's not gonna happen. We gotta put an exhaust on this car. And the nose.
This isn't Kindig or
when Chip Foose sees this, he's calling. He's gonna be like, boys, how can I get you to come work with me? Not even for me, with me. And I'll be like, sorry, bro. I got roadkill things to do.
Right.
You keep doing what you're doing, though. Maybe one day we can hook up on a project. Automotive project. Do you think Foose works on stuff as rusty as this, or is he just like, nah, bro, take that somewhere else. Get rid of the rust, then bring it to me.
Yeah, no, I think it'd have been like, nope, send that thing to Graveyard Cars.
Yeah. Mark Werman's probably all like, oh, yeah, numbers matching rust, I can take care of that. It's actually not numbers matching rust. That floor's been patched and rusted through the patch.
Right.
That's how bad the rust is, dude. That over there was fixed once. Poorly, but it was fixed. Car. Little personal update here. At this point, we are about a day and a half away from the Roadkill crew coming back to Georgia so that we can film an episode of the show about road tripping this car to Roadkill nights in Michigan. I need to block off this giant hole in the firewall for a wiper motor that we don't have and that we're not going to. And the reason I bring this up is I'm just going to show you a quick and dirty way to locate some holes. You could measure stuff and figure it all out, or you could just take a hammer, and this works for holes and for studs. But you can just sit here and wipe your dirty hammer. As long as you don't move the paper, this works great. That's the key, don't move the paper. But we're just gonna wipe some dirt on our hammer, and then we're gonna use the hammer to trace the outline of the stud. And where's our other stud? Right there. Alright, there's stud number 2. And this doesn't have to be an exact fit. All we're doing is going to make a plate out of probably aluminum that'll slide over these studs and cover up the hole to try to keep some of the fumes out of the driver compartment, which, you know, at the end of the day is a losing battle because the entire floor is, you know, holy, like the Pope. The other thing you can do is cheat and just shove this thing right over it. You know, you can do this. You know, if you're in a big hurry, you could just put that right on there and then duct tape it. And that's as good as aluminum in most states and localities and municipalities. We're going to go the extra mile. We're going to actually, you know, transfer this to some aluminum, cut it, and put it on there. But should you be out of aluminum or anything to cut the aluminum, this works too. So, all right, there's my template. You can see it's a precise fit. Doesn't want to slide out of there very well. That's because well, that's as good as CNC in my book. It's precision. All right, so remember the precision I mentioned before? Look at that. Dude. Now that stud is about, I don't know, from here I'm gonna call it 5/16 of an inch in diameter. So I'm just gonna go right ahead and drill these out 3/8, maybe even 1/2 inch. Then we know this is gonna fit.
Just tear it out of there.
Precision, look at that. Boom. All right, she looks like a triangle to me. Let's make her a triangle. How far? How much room do I have around each one of these holes? The other thing you can do, you know, when you're going for that precise fit is you can take this here, push it down over it, and then just kind of do one of these deals. Kind of get your general shape of where you're working. You know? Yeah, I know I got about this much room to work with now, right? So now we just take this over here. That's about what we have to work with. So we use our magic scissors. Foose and Fuller and all the other F fabricators, who are really A's in my book, they're gonna be calling me after this. They're gonna be like, yo, where'd you learn that technique, bro? And I'll be honest with them, prison. Oh yeah, look at that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Nice.
So it's not,
now we'll just
that is some
sharpen up our
precision geometry going on there.
Oh, dude, geometry is my favorite. All right, so we'll punch our holes there. We'll round some corners. We'll trim some stuff. It's gonna be amazing. Then we'll put the nose on the car and the hood and all that good fun stuff. Got to put some holes in it now. We want to do a good job on this, Joe, because this is going to go right next to our titanium plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Those don't know. My new signature is one piece of titanium on every build, whether it deserves it or needs it or not. There's that one. This one over here, aluminum. We're going to cross-pollinate here, aluminum with titanium.
Aluminum, titanium, you know.
Unobtainium. All the medium. You need to flip that to high speed there, brother. There we go. Yeah, get after it, dog. Oh, whoops. Dude, you're gonna need a big washer now, bro.
You said get after it.
Yeah, you. Woo. Okay.
Whoops.
I mean, it's fun. I get it. I wouldn't have stopped either.
That one gets that way that we can pivot around the other ones.
It probably still won't fit.
Because your precision alignment here might be a little bit off.
Are you saying this template's no good?
No, I'm saying it's great.
Okay.
But I just left a little bit of room for error.
Oh, thank you. All right. Let's see. You want to deburr those? Nice. Left side. There you go.
Try this one.
And people wonder why it takes so long to build cars. The precision, it takes time. Boom. We just gotta take that nut off. And then I gotta
a little from the top.
Trim a little trim. Boom. All right, now the hood can go on. It's hard to even get the tap in there. Damn, I'm out of
T-handle.
I'm gonna have to use the T-handle because
I think you put it back over there.
So much rust.
And there's like no fixing this.
No, this is junk. I think this car must have been in a swamp or something. Like, if you're at home and you know the history of this car, like you've seen it for sale on the internet, like Tell me what happened. I mean, yeah, it's a Charger. They all come with factory installed rust, but this is excessive. This looks like it was
This is wild.
Louisiana, Florida, swamp type stuff, you know? Or it fell in the bottom of a lake at the end of a high-speed chase. Just sat there for 3 or 4 decades before somebody fished it out, threw it on the internet, and sold it to my dumbass. And yes, I am foolish, but this is a fun car, so whatever. And think of all the things we're learning. Like, I'm learning, don't do this again, you know? Learning how to tap holes and rusty Charger sheet metal. Like, this is some stuff over here.
Oh, Busby, if you're listening, I got a Charger for you. I know you're looking. I got one for you.
Oh, that's right. Busby wants a Charger.
I got one for you.
I think Busby wants a project, though.
No, he does. He doesn't mind a project, he said. He's good with that.
Wait till he sees this episode. I don't think he's going to want this Charger. This is not the nostalgia car that he's searching for. This doesn't even want to start. That's weird. That's a good sign. That means it's the
Got
hole.
some meat?
The hole's got some meat to it. At least one of the 3 might have some meat to it.
It's just the rust that kind of started to close the hole.
Yeah. It's a different kind of rust. It's rust with soul. Some integrity. Rust you can depend on. Not like all the other rust in this car. It's ready to lay down on the job at any moment. Oh yeah, we're going to have one good hole in this hood, which is really all you need. Like a couple of hood pins up front, one good hole in the back, we're dialed.
Well, the good thing is you'll really never have to open this.
Oh, such reliability.
Yeah, you're good.
Definitely not overheating with that nose on the front. Sure. All right. Well, I'd say blow out the holes, but I'm pretty sure you can just shake the rest out of this thing at this point. And all the metal shavings I just made.
Here, let me fix that.
Oh, yeah, that one's great.
We're good.
That one's great, dude. Got
What
it?
side you grabbing?
This side.
Okay. I like the reverse bullet hole right there.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Oh boy.
Okay, don't move. You got it?
Uh-huh.
It's just gonna keep pooping on the motor. That's why you need an air filter on this car. It's just for the rust.
Well, what I was going to say earlier is, thank God you have a windshield now. Because all this rust from the hood is just going to fly in your faces. You might need some windshield wipers to clear the rust off the windshield.
For real. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Look at that. All right, let's do your side.
No, still sticks up. Look how high this side is. That's crazy.
Maybe that's to let air come out, you know, to keep the hot air out.
Kind of weird.
What if there's something up with these hood hinges? They are aftermarket.
Took the factory ones back to the shop, huh?
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let's slot the holes higher. Oh, it can't go any lower. The hinges are hitting the bottom of the inner fender. Yeah, that can't go down anymore.
They are legit all the way down.
Huh. Interesting. Oh, I know what it is. The hood can be pushed down on here if you have a 5/16 bolt we have bigger bolts in there, so there's no adjustment, but the hood could be pushed down on the top of the hinge. All right, I'm not going to worry about it. Not when we have this.
Say we have to go slot back. I don't think we can go back anymore.
Look how much rust just fell out of this, just from bolting it on.
A lot. It's all coming from here. Look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah. I will have no qualms about cutting a hole through this hood to put some sort of intake enhancement device through at a later date.
All right, let's see where we line up.
Dude, side to side over here, I'm good. I got a good gap.
Yeah, side to side, we're good.
And I'm on the hood pin. You know, I'm money right here.
This one's...
It's a little off to my side on this side.
Yeah,
like
I see.
It's touching now. Does it need to go left on your side? That's fine. I mean, it lines up with a hood pin. That doesn't mean the hood pin's in the right spot.
No.
Oh, you got a monster gap on your side.
Yeah.
Well, no, right here, it would touch the fender.
Yeah.
So the fender, you know, if the fender wasn't so rusty, I'd say adjust the fender out a little bit. But, all right, this is fine. Let's put the nose on.
You sure this wasn't the hood pin?
Maybe that was the first attempt at, you know, the hood pin. Or, I mean, look at this. Like, this is what the headlight mount should look like.
This one's,
you know, not with this popcorn thing on there. But then you come over here and it's like, dude, what did it hit and what were they doing? Because the whole car is like this. There's these giant globule popcorn welds that aren't really holding anything together. They're just on there. Yeah, maybe home slice put a hood pin in here and slam the hood shut, and or maybe he just laid under the car one day, got pissed off at it, and shot a gun straight up, you know?
Well, that's how he punched hood pin holes in it, was with a 45.
Try to put it out of its misery. Block off all the airflow.
Here we go, up. Go right to that little stud right there. Right? Look. We're close. All right, that one.
Okay, does this lip go over it or
goes under?
Goes under. Okay, I need to go backwards then, and I need to fix the rubber. Okay. There we go. How's yours?
Come up. It's got to come up and sit like right here. The nose is so warped. Forget.
Oh, it's never going to line up great. I just don't want it to fall off. There it is.
Wait somewhere.
Oh, tilt it out. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, there's that. That may kind of...
It's falling. Lift it back up.
Wait. Put yours down. Something happened. We're stuck. Oh, gentle. Okay, all right. All right, there's that. Okay, all right. Maybe we should put a floor jack under the bottom of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, there's a hole right there. We could make some sort of bracket that went from there backwards. First things first, let's get this thing reattached, because that bolted on somehow, and then we'll do one off each bottom backwards to something. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. All right. I'm going in. Wish me luck.
Do it. Prepare to get rusty.
Oh, it's just a small gap.
That looks cool. Well, it's not all the way closed, you know?
No. Actually, that one's down all the way.
Okay, that's a big gap.
There's no rubber for it.
Oh, wait.
Not for this piece.
What's this?
What is that one? Bumper seal. Oh.
Hood to bumper. Gap filler. That's
Oh,
this,
is
dude.
considered a bumper now. Got you.
Dude.
How does it go on, though?
I don't know. Magic?
Like this way.
But if we get that on, that will detract from the fact that the hood won't actually go all the way down the way it's supposed to. You know?
That's factory ventilation right there.
Dude,
Don't
it looks
kid yourself.
good with the hood on there. Like, I'm fully prepared to pull the hood off if this thing overheats, but I'd like to keep the hood on.
So
It really ties the whole car together like a nice rug. Got a little...
That rubber bump is stopping us.
That's show quality gap right there. Nice
Right?
and tight, like a Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pull the rubber bump off.
Okay.
I don't know, let's add that front filler thing.
Yeah, I think it goes on here somehow.
Or does it go on here?
Yeah,
Nah,
that thing's attaching to that.
Yeah, that would be weird.
No, it goes. I'm pretty sure it goes like so. It'll lay this way.
I got scissors.
So we will have to get some.
Here, open her up. Let's give it a gander. I don't know a lot about these cars, but I'm gonna guess a factory nose piece is probably a little straighter than ours.
Much more
Maybe even made out of metal. I don't know. Maybe it was aluminum.
like the rear wing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see this is supposed to have, there's like a little metal strip that goes in here that locks this in place.
So you're saying tech screws it is? Fine.
We'll through bolt it.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool.
We might have to cut it a little bit.
Nah, she's money. So, and we just follow this upper edge because look, the edge of this is curved. Right. And just shoot some screws through this thing. That is cool.
That'll fill the hole better.
Where did I buy these? I forget the name of the company. For you guys out there that are building clones or, you have a real one, Detroit Muscle Technologies. They sell all these things. This splash kit is like a 9-piece deal that goes under the nose and around the core support if you have an original car, all in the name of sealing the nose to the radiator, because apparently these cars, might be prone to having a little overheating problem. We haven't test driven ours yet, but I know we'll find that out.
So excited about this. It's gonna sound great. It's still pretty loud. Tighten up our floor a little bit here.
Hey, hold on.
This might have been quieter with no exhaust.
Yeah, I think it's attaching to that.
This might have been quieter with no exhaust. 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 This might have b the fact that we cruised in here at 254 degrees of coolant temp. Total success. The nose stayed on the car. The floors seem like floors. I mean, I'm wearing a lot of the rust.
Yeah, same.
But, yeah, I mean, a little cooling issue to figure out on the road trip, but that'll be our problem on Roadkill. See you next time on Finnegan's Garage.